So I think the microphone is working. Let's have a look here. Another quick microphone test. Okay. All right, welcome everybody who is watching or who is going to watch later. I'm pretty good on time again today, so I have a couple of minutes to tell you a few things, and otherwise you can just skip a few minutes forward. The real class is going to start in 4 minutes. Unfortunately, YouTube live stream doesn't allow me afterwards to edit the beginning, so you just have to skip forward a little bit if you want to go straight to the lesson. Otherwise, maybe I can tell you a little bit about my day. In the morning, I again did sunrise meditation. So now I really do have to get up a little bit earlier, slowly. It's now at 20 to 7, so it's still quite okay. And it was really nice this morning. It's now sort of getting to the edge of my meditation place. So I think I'm not so good in geography. It's moving probably further south. No, that can't be. I don't know. I have to once check that out in which direction, or north maybe. Probably actually further north, I think. So either I will have to change my meditation seat soon, or I can't see the sunrise anymore from where I usually do my morning meditation. But for a few more days, should be okay like this. And then I had a little breakfast, did some admin work. Also, I did a little text for the Yoga Meets Vegas Festival in October, that's going to be. And I will be leading there a outdoor hike, a mindful hike to a secret waterfall, where we will also do a meditation on the 4 elements, a little bit like we did in my last few yoga classes. Maybe some of you have also watched those or practiced those and heard a little bit about that. And then I also did some practice for myself, which I usually do before class. Now this is maybe a little bit of a new luxury. I definitely do more practice now than I used to do, and also because some of you are actually watching all of these classes, I feel like I have to be maybe a little bit more creative than usual, where I sometimes just do more or less the same lesson a couple of times. But I also really enjoy this, to be a bit more creative and to sort of work with a similar topic, but then in different variations as well. So, it's already 14 past, so not so much more to say. It's very nice weather again here, maybe as well where you are. And in the afternoon, I think I will leave the house for a bit. I don't know yet what I will do, walk or maybe a run or swim. I will see later. Yeah, so if you already are in your place, maybe a good idea would be also to have a block ready. If you have a block, and also if you have a wall. We will do one exercise with the wall. If you don't have a wall nearby, it will also work without that. It just gives you a little bit more confidence for that one exercise. What else? Yeah, maybe a blanket, that's sort of standard. I don't know if I have to always say that anymore, or a cushion just to sit, or afterwards when you lie down for your head or to cover yourself. And I just saw that it's now 1:15. So again, welcome everybody to this lesson. And the lesson will have a topic, which is Garuda. So I just printed out a little picture of Garuda. I might come a little bit closer so you can actually see something. So Garuda is a kind of mythological bird, or almost like a bird god, or something in between bird, human, and god. And he's also called the king of the gods. It's from Hindu mythology. And there are a lot of stories about him. I will read you a small story at the end of the class. But his main characteristics are courage, endurance, and also he likes to be in service of others, protect others, and help others. And in yoga, maybe you know this pose, the traditional Garuda pose actually is quite something a little bit challenging. It's a balancing pose, and the arms and legs are sort of a little bit crossed over. And we will work with that today as well, but not in the standing version, but in the lying down version, more towards the start of the lesson. And in the later part of the lesson, we will work more with balance, but we'll do more sort of a open wing Garuda. This is more than, as you can see here in the picture, or maybe you can't see now very well, but you saw before, with the open wings. And I came up with two names for those ones. So one will be tilted Garuda. That one we have practiced yesterday already. And the next one, which will be new today, is called humble Garuda. But you will see what that is later. And I invite you now to start with lying down on your mat. If you wish something for under your head, you can take something either with your feet on the mat or traditional Shavasana. Just allow yourself to arrive for a moment. Let your body relax and melt into the ground. Maybe you can still remember a little bit this picture. I showed you the red color of Garuda also signifies that he is quite a fiery bird. So it's also a little bit connected to the fire element, to warmth. So this is probably going to be a lesson where you will also feel some of that warmth in your body. And maybe so now for the start, be a little detective, observer. Where can you already now feel warmth in your body? Where is maybe a little bit less warmth, sometimes towards the extremities, feet or hands. Can also be that you sometimes have too much warmth in your system. So then if that ever happens during a yoga lesson, just exhale a few times through your mouth. That has also a cooling effect. Sometimes you also do that together for this purpose. And then we already slowly get ready for a little sort of warm-up exercise, nothing complicated, and everybody might or will probably know this. We'll do shoulder bridge with the feet in front of your pelvis, any distance you wish, and just start very playfully. Inhale, lifting up your lower back. You don't have to come all the way up yet. And exhale, going back down. Continue a few times, and I just Notice that I prefer it without a blanket. Maybe with your eyes closed, is this movement meant now just to feel and to help you arrive in your body? Synchronize your breath with the movement. If you wish, you can also do Ujjayi breathing with the slight sound from your throat. You can also take one arm or both arms behind you. Lengthen your whole body. Exhale. Another time, feel free to also choose one of those or stay with this more basic one. Doesn't always have to be the most complicated thing, especially in the beginning. And now just to end this little introduction, I invite you to once more lift your pelvis up off the ground. Now stay here for a few breaths and only do a tiny movement. So now only with your feet, see as if you can pull the mat more towards you. There's not much to see from the outside, but feel what that changes in your body in the activation. Breathe. So now you should feel it much more in the back of your legs, also your glutes takes a little bit more strength now. Inhale again and exhale, slowly release down. Relax and take your knees towards the chest for a moment and rotate a few times. With a natural breath. And then change to the other side. And now we will come to Garuda, and I might actually turn around. So hopefully it's a bit better to see. So now we will cross the right leg over the left leg. And if you can also hook the feet one more time, like this. This is all optional. It can also just stay here. And then we will take also our arms up, and the right arm goes now underneath the left arm. We cross in the elbows. Depending on your flexibility, it's going to stay like this, or you can bring the forearms closer together or the hands, so like Garudasana. Now with the legs, feel if it's like this with the thigh very close to the stomach, it's very relaxing. But now we actually want some activation for our core. So we're going to take the legs further away from the core so that at the beginning they are sort of vertical. And now make sure when we continue that you never have a hollow lower back, but that your lower back is firmly on the ground. So then we will begin just with the legs. Inhale in this position. Exhale, slightly move the legs away from your core without getting into this hollow I just mentioned. Inhale, coming back. A second time, exhale away. Inhale, coming back. And a third time. Now keep the legs where they are and do the same thing with your arms. You can choose if you want to do this with an inhale or with an exhale. Lift the arms towards your face and then bring them back down. Notice what happens in the shoulders and upper back. 3 times. Now we will do this 3 more times with legs and arms together, with inhale or with exhale. Distance from the core and back to the core. And when you have finished, slowly untwine your arms. If you have hooked your legs, unhook them, but keep them like this. And with both hands, see where you can hold each leg from the outside. Maybe you can go all the way down towards your feet or a little bit further up. And now see if you can pull both legs a little bit closer towards you. And most likely you will now feel a stretch in your right glute, right outer leg. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and just relax here. Lengthen your exhale. If you already feel quite warm, exhale through your mouth. Then slowly release. And before we will do the other side, just loosen up everything a little bit. Like putting as loose as possible. And then slowly we'll get ready for the second side and we'll cross now the left leg over the right leg. Maybe you can hook or you stay like this. And again, you align your legs more or less vertically to start with, lower back firmly on the ground. Take the arms, left arm underneath your right arm, either like this or again, hook your hands together. Also here, see that your elbows can move a little bit away from your body. And begin with the legs, inhale or exhale. Take them down a little bit more away from the core. Keep your lower back glued to the ground. And coming back. Twice more. Then with your arms the same, 3 times. And the last 3 times, arms and legs together. Slowly release once you've finished. Bring your arms to the legs and pull the legs a little bit closer towards your stomach. And relax as much as possible here. Deepen your breath. And lengthen your exhale. And then slowly come to an end. One more time. Relax the arms and legs. Move a little bit. And then when you feel ready, we'll slowly come up into a seated position, rolling up or over the side. And we will continue in Vajrasana. If this is not possible for you to sit like this, one option might be to use a blanket between the legs, or you take a different seat, for example, a normal cross-legged seat. Before we continue, allow yourself to arrive in the seated position for a moment. Notice how your spine is upright now. Chest wide and open. Spine tall. Breath flowing naturally in and out. Now slowly open your eyes again, and we will continue with a little hand exercise because we will also need our hands a little bit more afterwards. And we will combine it with Kapalabhati or Kriya breathing. So the strong exhale through the nose, passive inhale also through the nose. We will do this also with a twist. So maybe I will again show it from the side. Begin with lifting your arms up, open and close your fingers like this. And if you wish, start with the breathing. Open towards one side, back to center, and to the other side. So just keep going with eyes open or closed, always twisting, letting the arms come a little bit further down, bring them up, look forward, and then to the other side. The aim is to continue until your fingers almost can't do it anymore. So see if you can do maybe one more time. And then when you really notice that it's not working anymore, just relax the arms on the legs and observe. Breathe naturally. And then slowly open your eyes again. And if you had a blanket, take it to the side again. We'll continue a little bit with the hands and we'll do one exercise we did on Sunday. Some of you I know, I think, have been practicing also on Sunday with me. That was a senior yoga class. And one exercise was there meant as a fall prevention, Sturzprävention. But today, well, of course, this is also a nice effect, but we will also use it to warm up and strengthen the arms a little bit more. Also the pelvic floor, because we will also go into an opening and back bend like this, where we want to hold here with the core and pelvic floor. So this gentle movement like sucking in and up. But to begin with, we'll come onto all fours. Making sure every finger has some space. Fingertips are a little bit kind of like grabbing into the mat. And from here, we'll just come up a little bit and down. Breath is natural. Come up a little bit more. So this is the sort of basic pattern. It's okay that when you go down, also your feet come up. And if you want to do more, you go into a little bit of a bend in the elbows, kind of like a push-up position. So now maybe you can come all the way up, open and down. A few times. Inhale when you open, exhale when you go down. Now pause for a moment. See if you can do it 3 times now with only one arm. 3 times with the right arm and 3 times with the left arm. The other arm you can bring behind your back. Start from the bottom. Maybe go a little bit more in towards the middle than with your hand if you wish. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Bending can require quite a lot of strength, as you might notice. And change the other side. Inhale up. Exhale. And slowly come to an end. For a moment, go into wide-legged child's pose with your arms forward. It's also a little bit of a recurring pose this week. Also, spread your arms a little bit to the side, and the arms stay a little bit active, so they reach forward with the hands. Maybe you can put your forehead on the ground. And relax here into the stretch. Notice where your breath moves your body. And with your next inhale, slowly come back up. For a moment, observe, relax. And then slowly open your eyes again. And now we will come to a pose where we might want to have a wall, because this pose takes a little bit of courage. So maybe you remember from the beginning, Garuda is also a courageous bird. So I invite you to follow along just as far as you feel comfortable. You can also just not do all the things we might do or I might show. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. So I'm gonna move my mat a little bit more towards the wall now. I will come onto all fours, and so the idea is we will do a few jumps towards the wall, a kind of like a handstand preparation it is actually. Also then with the Garuda legs. So it's not so ideal if your hands are directly next to the wall, but should be really some distance away. And just to start, we will first, with an inhale, come up onto Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And here, walk a little bit. Stretch your calves, breathe.
And then if you want to first watch, maybe sit down again to quickly have a look, and I will show the next steps. So maybe walk a little bit closer with your feet, bend the knees, grip into the mat with your hands, and just with a natural breath, see if you can hop off the ground. So it can look just tiny like this, or you can try to go higher and to stack your body more over the shoulders. Sort of like this. Do this a few times just in your own way. Try to do almost like child's pose in the air, so the legs are close to the stomach when you go up. And if you need to, you can touch the wall. 3 more times. And when you have done it 3 more times, relax for a moment in a child pose variation that feels good for you. If you need to rotate your hands a little bit, it's also fine. And it's normal that the pulse is a little bit higher now. With a long exhale, you can bring it down again. And then with your next inhale, slowly come back up onto the knees first. So maybe you remember from the beginning, I listed a few qualities of Garuda: courage, also endurance. So we will try this now once again with one little added feature, which you can do, or you can say that from before was already enough for me. I will just do the same thing again. Maybe if you want to follow, you might want to watch first. I will demonstrate it again. So the beginning is the same. We are in Adho Mukha Svanasana with slightly bent legs. And then when we hop up, we cross the legs and we come down with crossed legs, like Garudasana. Hop up, change, and do this kind of hopping a few more times. Try to land lightly, which is quite hard. And 3 more times. And slowly unhook the legs. Walk with your feet and your hands closer together. Then slowly roll up into a standing position. And take Tadasana, mountain pose, to relax. Exhale through your mouth if you wish. Then slowly open your eyes again. I will bring my mat a little bit more towards the center. And now, just a moment. If you have a block, that might be a good moment to take it. Or a thick book might also work. If you don't have one, it also works without a block. Also, if the block is on a hard surface, it's easier. If it's on the mat, it's a bit harder. So you can choose what you want to do today. Come up on the block with your right leg. We'll do Kriya breathing with the legs up like this. Interlace your fingers, palms down, and inhale, lift. So the arms are just staying up like this now. And we'll do a movement. I will show it once with the leg forward, to the side, and back with Kriya. Inhale again. And exhale down. Relax for a moment. And then open your eyes again and switch to the other foot. Come up and interlace your fingers the opposite way. Inhale, arms go up. And Kriya. Stepping down, relax. Breathe. And slowly open your eyes again. So I didn't specifically mention it, but I assume you probably saw it and copied it. Now in this first variation we did, we had the standing leg straight. So now we will try this a second time, but with a slight bend in the knee. This makes it a little bit more challenging, and the standing leg has to work harder. To make it a little bit easier with the arms, just take the arms in front of your heart this time. Inhale. Stepping down and relax. Now slowly open your eyes again. And the last round of this with the other leg. Keep the slight bend in the knee, hands to the heart. Can't hurt to smile once for a little bit if you haven't done so before. Maybe now a good moment. And then begin, inhale. Stepping back down, relax for a moment. Now slowly open your eyes again and remove the block. Now we are ready for a little bit more balance challenge, and we'll come soon to these two birds that I announced in the beginning. What was it called again? Tilted Garuda. So tilted means a little bit to the side, and the other one humble Garuda. So again, if you want to be a little bit on a harder surface, feel free to do that, because it might be quite challenging. Start with the hands here on the hips. And the standing leg is the right leg now. Inhale, lift your left leg forward with the heel. Exhale, not touching the ground. Inhale to the side. Exhale. And now continue to breathe naturally and take the leg behind you. Bend the standing leg
And if you, like me, have to sometimes touch the ground a little bit with your toes, that's okay. Spread your wings. Come lower and lower and lower without touching down. Open in your chest. And then slowly, with the strength of your leg, come back. Take the leg around. Step it next to the other leg. Hands to heart center. Relax for a moment. And then shift the weight to the other leg. We'll see how the other side works. Hands to hips. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale. Inhale to the side. Now breathe naturally. Bend the standing leg. Bring it behind you. Lower yourself down without touching the ground and spread your wings. Can't hurt to smile a little bit again. Slowly come back up. Bring the leg around and hands to heart center. Relax here. Gather your strength for the second round of this same movement, with one little added element at the end if you wish. So again, shift the weight to your right leg, hands to hips. Inhale, left leg. Exhale. Inhale to the side. Exhale, bend. So the leg that's in the air is straight, the standing leg is bent. You reach over to the right. Open your wings. Just see how far down you can go. Slowly come back up. Bring the leg over, but don't bring it to the floor yet. Lift it once more and twist to the left. Then release and relax. So if it doesn't work in the first attempt or also not in the second, just approach this playfully. It's completely okay if you have some difficulties with that yet. It's quite challenging. We'll open the eyes again and try the other side. Last time of this tilted Garuda. So again, your left leg as a standing leg, hands to the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to the side. Exhale. Bend your standing leg. Reach with the other leg behind you and over to the left. And spread your wings. Really reach out into the fingertips. Imagine the fingers are like the feathers of your wings. Slowly come back up. Before you release, reach out with the leg, twist to the other side. And release. And for a moment, completely release and take mountain pose again. If you need to move any part of your body, feel free to do that. And before we will do the next version, the humble Garuda, we'll do humming. With your exhale 3 times, hum lightly and notice the vibration in your body. Slowly open your eyes again. And again, if you wish to step on a little harder ground, that's fine. Although now it's a little bit less with balance, so it might actually work well on your sticky mat as well. We'll start again with the left leg, hands to the hips. So the beginning is still the same. Afterwards, it's going to get a little bit different. Inhale forward, exhale. Inhale to the side, exhale. Bend the standing leg, and now also the leg that's in the air is bent and reaches over and touches down. So now it's again similar to Garuda, the classical pose. The legs are crossed and they are touching each other. And see how far down you can sit. Spread your wings again. Stay for a moment. Also the stomach, if possible, is now touching the thighs. Inhale, lift up. Place the foot and exhale, hands to heart center. Relax for a moment. Then shift the weight of your body to the right and we'll do the second side. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to the side. Exhale, bend the standing leg. Bend also the airborne leg. Come down. Reach down. So the ideal is if the legs are really close together. And you spread your arms. Lower your stomach to the legs. Breathe. Inhale, coming up again. And release. So now we'll do each side one more time. I'm not going to talk that much anymore. I will just do it. You can watch me or you can do it completely on your own now. Now we'll do the last time, and then with the last one, we're not going to come up again. So follow again when you're in the pose. Coming down, taking again the classical position, or not the classical maybe, but the one we have been doing. And then bring your hands to the ground. And bring your knees to the ground. The feet are out to the side. So we're not going to sit all the way back because for a lot of people this is difficult. Also here, make sure it's okay for your knees. If it's not okay for your knees, it's better to just do in normal all-fours position. Maybe I'll have to come a little bit further back so you can see me better. But if it's okay, then the right leg is now in front of the left leg. And we're going to do a little twisting motion here. Release the right arm, palm facing up. Reach underneath the left arm. Look into your hand. Inhale, open your wing. Look up. Exhale, twist. 3 times. Inhale. Exhale. And the last one. Then you release. Uncross the legs. Maybe just shake them out a little bit. And then
Cross them the other way around. So take the right foot and the left foot this time over. Feet out to the side. Knees are touching each other. Release your left hand. Go underneath your right arm. Look into the hand. Inhale. Open your wing. And exhale. Twice more. And release. And cross the legs. Move if you have to. And then sit down on the mat. So now bring the legs forward. And if you wish, you can now try the full pose or half. This is now actually not eagle pose anymore, but it's called cow face pose. Gomukhasana, which has a similar crossing of the legs and internal hip rotation to this. So the basic version is possibly for most people, I think, take the right leg over the left again, like this, with the foot pointing back. If this is difficult, it's also okay to have it a little bit more forward. If you can, without any pain in the joints, you can also cross the leg underneath. And then you can maybe also come forward a little bit, similar to what we did before. And it can also be better if you have difficulties. So just maybe sit on a block or on a cushion so it's easier. Maybe you don't need that, so you can also sit on the ground. And now we're going to come into a side bend. So probably it's now wrong, not mirroring you anymore, but just look which leg is on top for you now. And with that arm, you will reach over to the side. So both arms are on the side now. And here, this is my right leg. I'm taking the right arm, inhale. And I go over to the side. And I reach really to the side into my fingertips for a moment and stay here and breathe. Maybe close my eyes. And I also, with my other hand that's on the ground, I push a little bit so that my right sit bone is now firmly grounded down. For you, it's most likely the left one now. If it gets too intense with the hand up like this, you can also go to your head or to the shoulder. And then slowly release, come up. Keep the legs for a moment longer and just observe. You can also go with your hands to the feet. It's sometimes an interesting contact here. Interesting sensation. Hands touching the soles of the feet. Or just one foot if you do half of this position. And slowly open your eyes again. Uncross the legs. And do the other side. Either half or full. With a block or blanket to sit on if you have that and feel that is helpful. Arms to the side. Inhale. Walk over a little bit and reach into your fingertips again. If you wish, close your eyes. Your chest is wide and open, so don't collapse like this, but almost see if you can rotate a little bit towards the ceiling. Then inhale, reach up. And again, for a moment, relax, maybe with your hands on the feet.
And then slowly open your eyes again. Release the legs. Shake them out a little bit. And for the last part now, I invite you to come back on your mat. Lie down on your back. And just take this constructive rest position for a moment with your feet in front of your pelvis. Hands can be on your body or next to your body. Check in with yourself for a moment. And notice if there has been something missing, if there is still something you want to do, a last movement or stretch for yourself. Feel free to do whichever movement you might still require, and maybe also you feel you have moved enough, then you can already take relaxation pose, either with the legs extended, something under the knees, or with the feet like this. And as I usually do now at the end of the lessons, if you feel like you want to give yourself a little touching sensation, rub your hands and place them on your face or on another part of your body. You can also do this several times in different places. And then find a place where your body and your hands can rest. And the quieter the body now gets, also the easier for the mind to settle, for the mind to rest. If you wish, remember again the picture of Garuda from the beginning. And keep that picture a little bit in your mind while I read you one of the many stories from Garuda, which isn't actually an eagle. Often it's just translated as eagle, but that's a little bit simplified. I prefer just to say king of the birds or mythological bird. So this Garuda bird once came to the aid of a sparrow that had been taken advantage of by the ocean. The sparrow had laid her eggs on the beach, but the ocean carried them away with his waves. Begging to know a whale to have the eggs returned, the sparrow pecked at the edge of the ocean to encourage him to return what was not his. The determined sparrow became famous for her persistence or endurance, and so caught the attention of Garuda, who, king of the birds, felt sympathy and threatened the ocean that if the eggs were not given back, then Garuda himself would incessantly attack the ocean. Ocean relented and returned the eggs to the ever grateful sparrow. So in this little episode, Garuda helped a smaller bird that had suffered maybe an injustice. So if you wish, maybe in the coming week, probably or very likely you're also doing that already, then it's maybe more become a bit more conscious and appreciating what you're already doing. The idea to also help others who maybe are a little bit less strong at the moment or needs some other help, less competent maybe in some areas where you have more knowledge. Maybe reflect where you are already doing this in your life. And where maybe in the coming week you have some free capacity to be there for another person, or also an animal could be. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Could also be doing a nice thing for a neighbor. And if you're already helping really a lot at the moment, then maybe it's more for you to figure out ways how you can be there for yourself so that you can keep this energy of Garuda, this courage, strength, see that you can have these little islands for yourself where you can recharge. And maybe in the coming days, if you wish, become a little bit more aware of the birds, the bird's song, different kinds of birds. And also if you're sitting a lot in front of the computer, maybe it's a good eye exercise to sometimes go out, take a little break and look into the distance, see if you can spot somewhere a bird. See if there's any particular bird that you like, that you have a connection with. Maybe you want to read a little bit about this bird, find out a little bit more. So the whole idea of this is also to become more aware of the nature that is around us, the animals and plants that live in it. So we become more conscious that we are a part of this whole ecosystem and not just a separated being, but connected to everything that's living on this planet. So with the sound of my little singing bowl, it's not a bird sound, but hopefully another pleasant sound. I invite you to slowly come back, move a little bit, stretch and reach, take deeper breaths again. And unless you want to spend a little bit more time in relaxation, which you can of course do, Slowly come back up into a seated position. Thank you very much for practicing in this lesson today. It was a pleasure for me to teach this lesson. And as you might have already heard or not, this is for the moment the last lesson in English on Wednesday. I will change the schedule a little bit from next week. So next week on Wednesday, I will have a seniors yoga class in the morning at 10. And the English yoga class is going to stop for the moment. Unless there is more demand again, which might mean I will reopen it at a later stage. But I will send everybody an email so you will be fully informed what the options are from next week onwards. Thank you very much for being here with me these past couple of weeks in this class, and see you again next week in a different class. And have a wonderful day today.